Another great, convenient, and fairly affordable option for a raised bed is a galvanized trough style bed. Galvanized troughs are pretty popular right now, and for good reason. These raised beds are super affordable and they can be put together in about 20 minutes with very limited effort. What makes these beds so great is not only the convenience, but also that they're super sturdy. And the coating on the outside helps to weatherproof it, so this will last you for years in your garden. Before beginning assembly, check the box to make sure you have all of the necessary components. It's rare to end up with a box that's short of materials, but accidents happen, and you don't want to get started and then realize that you have to stop and make a call or send an email. This bed I'm putting together today is 4 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 1 foot tall, and has 6 main pieces, 2 on each end and 2 side panels. Depending on which brand or size you buy, some of the components and instructions may differ slightly, but in reviewing multiple available options online, they all seem pretty close. This kit comes with a box filled with screws and nuts needed for assembly, and actually includes some extras just in case. It also came with a couple of little tools, a screwdriver and a socket wrench, which is a nice addition. To begin assembly, I like to start with one of the ends. Take 2 end pieces and join them together, lining up the holes so you can fit a screw through both pieces. Starting with the top, insert a screw from the outside and thread a nut onto the screw. Finger tight is good for now. You'll be able to secure things more once all of the screws are in place. I like to place the top and bottom screws first, just to add a little bit of stability. Once those are set, I'll add the 2 middle screws. And with all our screws in place, now you can go ahead and tighten them up. I'm using the socket wrench provided in the kit, but you can use your own tools if you want. Less than 5 minutes, and I'm already a quarter of the way through. Now, assemble the opposite end the same way you put the first end together. Total assembly time thus far is less than 10 minutes, and only 2 more steps until we're done. To attach the side panels, align the holes with one of the assembled end pieces, and just like with the ends, fit the screws in, thread the nuts, and tighten. I can't overstate how convenient these styles of raised beds are to put together. I'm a big fan of building my own raised beds from lumber, and that's exactly what I've done in my garden thus far. Everything that I have, I built with wood that I purchased and then put together myself. But sometimes you just want something quick and easy, and these steel beds are exactly that. They also look pretty nice if that's your thing. And we're ready for the final piece. Now that the 2 ends are attached to each other with one of the side panels, you'll want to attach the top and bottom screws of the last panel to both ends before attaching the middle screws. Again, this is just my preference due to the stability that it provides in assembly. What's great about these units as well is that, similar to some of the wooden kits you can find for sale, these steel beds are modular. Depending on the type and size you buy, you can reconfigure them into various shapes and sizes, which is super cool. If I had 2 of these 4 foot by 2 foot by 1 foot beds, I could extend it to 8 feet long, or even combine them to create a 4 by 4 rounded edge square bed, as opposed to this oval shape I'm building. And there it is, a 4x2x1 galvanized raised bed put together in 15 minutes. To prep the area for your new raised bed, temporarily place your bed on the spot, mark it out, and then remove it so you can carve out the plot. Because I'm building this on top of grass, I'm scalping the area with a weed whacker in the dimensions of the bed. Next, I like to lay down some cardboard and cut it to the length and width of the bed. Cardboard is a true secret weapon in gardening. As long as you stick with brown craft and remove any labels or tape, it's a true garden workhorse. Placing it underneath a new raised bed will not only provide a fantastic weed barrier, but it will also break down over time, being dragged into the ground by earthworms and beneficial microbes, basically composting your garden bed from below. I've built beds with and without cardboard at the base, and the difference in weeds is striking. I highly recommend using it. When you're ready to fill your new raised bed, you're going to want to fill it about 90% of the way full, almost to the very top. There are a few different ways to fill it, based on both your preference and the materials you have available. I like to use about a 50-50 blend of compost and organic soilless potting mix. The compost helps jumpstart the relationship between my garden's natural biome and the new bed as it establishes, while the potting mix, being soilless, ensures a light and airy environment. It also adds a little bit of fertilizer, which doesn't hurt. Compaction is bad in the garden, and it's even worse for a garden bed. You want to make sure the roots of the plants you're growing have room to breathe, so you never want to fill a raised bed just with topsoil or just with garden soil. You want to make sure that you have some stuff mixed in to keep things light and airy. Give the blend a good once-over with the garden fork to ensure things are mixed together evenly. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a few turns to get things combined is good enough. And since I'm doing this in the fall, I'll also add some chopped up leaves as a mulch for good measure. The leaves will break down over time, turning into leaf mold and providing even more moisture retention and aeration to the raised bed. It's a really great addition. Because I added a soilless mix to my bed, I'm also going to water it in a little bit, as these blends can be a little bit hydrophobic. And that's it. Your new galvanized steel raised bed is built, filled, and ready for planting. I encourage you to consider this type of raised bed for your garden. It's super easy to assemble and will last for years.